Should be popping up here in a moment. Go ahead. Hello? Okay, we have 3 people. What? I'm not plugged in. That's why. Hello? Again. Okay. All right. Are we getting good?
I really can't tell at this point.
Okay.
No idea. I'm over on the YouTube page, sort of half looking at it, and it's mostly just frozen. But then
Okay.
occasionally we'll get a glimpse of us looking like,
It
you
looks
know,
like things are going okay.
oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
This is extremely frustrating. So the ever
Mm,
since I switched to this provider, that we've had this issue where my upload speeds will go under 10, sometimes under 5 megabits per second when I'm plugged into Ethernet specifically. So I've been trying. I switched the Ethernet ports like 5 times now, and finally I'm just gonna stream over Wi-Fi. So I'm sorry, my video may lag a bit, but that's the only way I can get this to work. Why is Video Ninja over chat when it's not? Okay, here. Chat, that it's
hmm.
what is going on? There's so much. Okay. No. Okay, let's push that up. Okay, there we go. All right, guys. I think we're finally stable.
Yay, mental stability.
Who said anything about mental?
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just very upset at my ISP for the way this works. Oh, jeez.
Private conversations, George. Now they'll know what we're saying about.
I need to actually I need that browser up.
No.
I'm just very frustrated right now. Can I type in here? I don't know if I can type into the chat overlay right now because it's weird. Okay, let's jump in. Okay. Unfortunately, I kind of wanted Agmashwa to be here because that would have been interesting to see just that first step. But here we have. So I already did some changes culturally. Um, when I like started the whole thing, right? But um, out of sync. I'm okay. Am I out of sync with other people?
It
Okay.
seems like it, yeah, it might have been one person or
Yeah, that might be.
Something
Now,
about
one
reloading.
problem with my documentation that was that I accidentally put the same character for both of these. This is actually supposed to be a different character. I think it's just like I have, because I romanized this as a J, and this is IPAJ. Something went wrong in my brain, and I put it at the wrong place. I don't
It's
believe
okay.
I
The
made any
wizards are
errors
illiterate.
in my text. But you will see, if we go down to Agma Schwaz, that he has all these Y's where there should be a J. This should be Nguji instead of Nguyi. But I think he was still able to gloss things out. It's interesting. Some of these boundaries, I think, are like provisional boundaries based on the specific way the Shakyuriya works, which is like if there's consonants on either end of the word, those don't get it under, right? Whoa, what was that?
What happened?
Oh, that's fine. It was just something on my end reloading
Yeah.
for unknown
Oh,
reasons.
okay.
Yeah. But can I still chat highlight? No, I don't think so. I have to. Yeah. But anyway, we can talk about okay. We can everything seems to be going wrong right now, so I don't know why. There was at some point, I don't know, he just didn't know what to do with Kukeg, which it should be in my glossary. Yeah, Kukeg. So he just kind of skipped that word, but otherwise, the biggest thing was he got confused by Ichimbe Ikefu, which is a god follower, right? This is like a participle phrase that means priest. I just had to like come up with something because despite this being a D&D language, I was not like wanting to have one for one words for each like class or anything. Insrafu just means someone who uses magic, and he got that.
What was
There's
the cook egg thing you mentioned, by the way?
Kukeg means club or hammer, and he
Ah.
just didn't gloss it at all. He just left it out. So I don't know.
It's so easy to miss things like that.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
just like, and like the and blade. So I don't know. Oh, the
It
actually
looks.
goes with the previous
Oh,
because
okay.
it's actually the enemy, and then something and blade with, right? From shadows they may not hurt the enemies with blades. It's actually you may not hurt the enemies from the shadows, but that's like an ambiguity in some senses. Hello.
Hi.
Hi Miles, how you doing?
Hi,
I'm
Miles.
great.
So we're just briefly going over the first text here. Yeah. And And there was just some confusion over what things. Oh, it was confused as to. I guess I used intransitive and nominative for that case because I was in the middle. So this is interesting.
I keep forgetting the case system of Dakaka.
It's tripartite.
Oh, it is
Simple.
tripartite?
Yes. So, if you were there from the beginning, I'm sure that you voted for tripartite. It
You
is.
struck so early.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like 6 p.m. for ACMA.
6 a.m. you mean? But
Yes.
but yeah, that was something that people voted for, and then I rolled for agent marking and patient marking on the verb. So Ndakaga is ridiculously over-indexed. Like you can leave out a lot and have the sentence make sense because like you have tripartite marking, so agent and patient and experiencer are all separate, right? And then you have subject and object agreement on the verb, so it's like it's very wild. So word order can be kind of free.
Imagine having free word order.
Yeah. Oh, Moonlight saying most people wouldn't in D&D world wouldn't know the finer distinctions between classes. I agree with that. I go further and I like Matt Colville's statement that the character sheet is an imperfect representation of the person in the world. Like your class is not necessarily how people classify you in the world, right? I think it's not. I think it's more of like a game mechanical thing. Some of them have flavor. Warlocks have a lot of flavor that kind of has to be like part of the world, but a lot of it. So we. Yeah. People. Cinnamon, you're practicing translating my Ndaka text. That's cool. Okay. So we have the Arjun. Yeah. Hi. How are you doing? Daddy's talking to some people. Can you say hi? Can you say hi?
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
They said hello back. I know you can't hear them, but they said hello back. Okay. Anyway, so right at the start, we get the biggest mutation is like, okay, the follower and the wizard may hurt God, which I think it's just because Ichim was in the accusative. So he thought that was the object of the sentence. The enemies of the unknown sun. So instead of the orb, it's the enemies. And then profound power of the speed. That's good. What is the last sentence just not there? It's not there in this. And then we go to Amaiguri. And she got this from Agma Schwa, which is I like Agma Schwa's font. It looks like hand drawn, but I know this is a font, right? Pretty sure this is a font.
I think that
I
actually
don't know because
on.
there are characters that are the same character that are not identical and don't look the same each time. So
Oh, maybe
Yeah,
this is hand drawn. No, he.
Yeah.
I think he showed. Maybe he showed
Unless
off.
it's a very fancy font.
He showed Casey font that Eternal made that is
Oh
now
yeah, he showed a
included in the
font that
reference
Eternal made that's
parameters.
more like standardized and looks more like printed. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. This is hand drawn. Okay. Well, that's cool. He does hand lettering for his comics, so he's practiced at doing this. And let's see where it went from here. And anyone who wants to talk.
So I actually went through her explanation last night because I wanted to figure out exactly what I did and didn't understand about it.
Uh huh.
So I went through all her notes. Or sorry, this is Amaguri's, not Aguishwa's
Yeah.
presentation, but that does reflect some of her interpretations of what he wrote.
Uh huh.
But I can wait actually maybe until that point. But she has
Let's go. Let's
some
go
notes on her
find the
translation.
actual translation because it looks like this is um all like torch material. Let's get to it. This is all torch material from Agmashwa, so let's go
Yes.
my goodies notes. Okay, so transcribed it by hand. There was looks like there was some things like I don't know why this is out of place. And then this is okay. So Jonathan, what did you gather from going through her notes?
So there were a couple things where it seemed like she wasn't sure how to interpret something in the previous text and made a guess and made some changes, but sort of included elements of the original thing. So, like, people noted how the sphere disappeared, but actually the sphere made it to me.
Oh.
So, she doesn't give it in her human translation. So she actually has another, like, couple after this. On the next page, there's keynotes, and then finally her literal translation. But if you look at that, it doesn't mention a sphere. But my
Oh.
translation of hers has a sphere because the word spherical was in there. So I'm not quite sure what to make of that. Um,
Huh.
yeah, it's interesting. There's also like in the first sentence, so there was a verb that meant to stab in the torch she received. And what she says in her notes is that she didn't have a word for stab, so she used a word to divide instead. But then she translates it here as cut. So I had interpreted that as divide, as in like make into pieces. But then I sort of ended up using this word meaning fracture, which kind of gets at the same meaning anyway.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
it's just a little bit less direct. So um, I still don't know what to make of that. So unsummed enemies, I interpreted it as innumerable, which, if I remember correctly, was approximately what it had meant
Yeah.
previously. Um, but my interpretation of that sentence said innumerable and spherical enemies, which was maybe the most puzzling thing about it for me. Um, and looking at her translation, it was maybe that I was misinterpreting some clausal coordination as nominal coordination, or rather
Don't
adjectival,
know.
I guess. So it wasn't actually innumerable and spherical, but there were two separate clauses that the enemies are innumerable and that they don't shine. I'm honestly not sure if that's correct still.
Oh, okay. Are you guys
Um,
are you guys hearing the treadmill in the background?
It was a microwave.
I also thought that.
I thought it was a
Dorothy, not
microwave
now.
too.
Dorothy, Daddy is streaming. We're not running the treadmill. Please turn it off. Can I put a noise?
It's a
gate
lot
on
of buttons for a microwave. How long do you think things are cooking?
that? Okay, who is our unvideoed person who just joined?
That would be me, Juno.
Oh,
Juno!
hello, Juno.
Yeah, I don't have a webcam.
Okay. We have Juno. I don't know why. I don't know why the names get mirrored when I add it. It's
Oh.
very strange to me. Oh, did I hide you? Is Juno still here?
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm still here.
Okay. That was like a minimized thing. I don't know how this stuff works. Um.
But yeah, I'm glad I could make it.
Get off!
And also woke up on time.
She just got off the treadmill and turned it to max speed. Hold on.
Careful, George. I hear it's going max speed.
Kids are so great.
Okay, I'm back.
I don't want to know what the next technical thing's going to be because it just seems to get higher and higher.
So,
Honestly, having like 20 odd cousins, these kinds of child shenanigans are so normal to me. Kids just be
This is
doing
why I
stuff.
took my child to the next
They be breaking
municipality over.
things.
oh, anyway. Anyway, so we had
So
it looks shorter
well,
on this.
her literal translation looks much shorter than her other translations, if I remember correctly. Like it really
Okay.
did not seem that short. I think because part of it is like things like power forces is a very compact way of saying something in English, but
Oh, okay.
the actual way it might appear in the language is not. And that was also totally mystifying to me, for the record. I still don't
Yeah.
understand the construction of the sentence, and I went over it multiple times last night. But this was the sentence. So, power forces make perfected world into null was a sentence that transformed in mine into we may not be able to make the world perfect,
Okay.
because I didn't know what null meant. And as it turns out, its turn into null was like a poetic way of saying ruin.
Oh, okay.
So I also wasn't sure about perfected world, which so I that ended up getting split up because I didn't know where like boundaries of noun phrases were. So like power forces I think also involved like a nominalization being used as a modifier, which I could not quite track. So
Yeah.
that was where like the ability thing came in. So my first interpretation was like that we want to perfect the world for something or to make ability for a perfected world. I had like so many different versions of the sentence and eventually just went on vibes of a few basic words and what maybe would make sense.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Um,
totally
which, you know, you have to do that sometimes. Um,
yeah.
the next sentence I got, don't let the enemy go. But then I think I slightly messed up Miles on that one, but we can talk about that later. It
Yeah,
wasn't
well, this
a
is
big
good.
shift,
And
but
if
I
there are no steps to do make enemies non-citizens was
so
a
again it
wild
was
cultural translation.
a
Um,
negation of a noun rather than like I didn't get what was being negated, so I thought it was don't make the enemies citizens. But then I was already kind of confused about so it never occurred to me until after the videos came out that the enemies might have been within this society. I had always interpreted it as like they are attacking from outside, so they're already not citizens. Whereas I
yes.
think the context she had was these are enemies within the city or whatever group, and they're going to be
Yeah, and
exiled.
that's kind of the original intent is that they were external like
Right.
supernatural
So it's
enemies.
interesting
They
that it
were
sort of switched twice.
yeah. And,
So this was essentially her way of saying exile them, like don't let them back
yeah,
in.
get
And I
get
had
rid of them.
said, then that ended up turning into don't let them in, which is actually pretty close now that I think about it. So yeah,
Okay.
it was an interesting translation. I actually ended up finding some things on her website that were not in the torch, because she has
Oh.
stuff about all of her con links posted on her website, and I ended up sort of sneaking in there and uh, just checking to see.
Doing some external research then, huh?
Yeah, because I think there was one place where she had like a single character wrong, which changed a verb, but that verb was not in the glossary. But then the one that was one character off was. So I was like, I'm pretty sure it's this, but I want to just double check this other source.
Yeah.
So
So
it
I
worked
think
out.
overall, what I'm saying is we have a lot of like mutations happening with Amaiguri and then going into yours.
Yeah,
But the broad themes have kind of stayed. The orb
yeah,
is still there. There's still this like war going on between some kind of enemy. Um it's just a lot of details have changed.
Time it got to me.
And if we go down to okay, in the darkness please divide
yeah,
the enemy. So instead of cut them you had divide them, huh? And then
right.
please divide Erus. So we
Oh
have
yeah.
Eris became Erus, which is
Well,
a proper name
that's the
that
same.
then washed out.
Yeah, no, that didn't really make it into any of the English translations because for
Yeah.
her, she glossed that, or not glossed, but translated that in her smooth English as God/chaos, and she had defined it with the name of a specific god, but that was never going to last in line, so it just became chaos
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a god of chaos. You said?
in her worlds.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. So you just said it's the embodiment of chaos, and that's
something like that. Yeah,
and then so oh, there we go. You have that
yeah. So
as a
these are
note.
my notes on my translation prior to knowing what the actual deal was.
Uh-huh. So yeah. Amaiguri says a lot about like not being very good at linguistic stuff, but she made pretty solid languages. Um, let's go. Let's go on. Now we can move on. I'm not going to go through all of your notes because you already kind
Yeah.
of mentioned it. But so we
Well,
go
so
from
yeah.
go to Valia and um we get okay a lot of notes on that,
So
and we
yeah.
go into
Where's my
Jonathan
torch?
to who is
Okay.
next?
Miles.
Miles. Okay, you two can talk out what happened there. I
So one thing I wanted to mention was I have so in the line "Do not let the enemy go." I specifically had this verb which is like to hold tightly, like
uh-huh.
don't continue to firmly grasp them essentially. But
Oh,
when I
yeah.
defined it, I think my definition led Miles to think it was more like a grab at, like begin to grasp rather than like be
Yeah.
holding. And
Yeah,
so
I
then I
have it
think
as
that
like
changed.
clutch.
Yeah, because I realized a lot of those words in English can mean both. That like it's two kind of meanings really.
Yeah.
Start doing the thing or just do the thing. Um, oh, I wanted to mention I totally forgot to say anything about the script um
Your video?
in my video. Like it just didn't come up at all. But it's a syllabary. I think I included all of the glyphs in the definitions, which made it probably much easier than it would have otherwise been.
That was
Miles?
extremely helpful. Yeah.
Do I not have the Yatlao?
Not in that document, correct.
Okay. I need to figure out. You sent it to me, right?
I have done, yeah. It's just in like 6 images, I believe. Just like not PDFs, PNGs or something like this.
Okay, I'll have to see. Let me.
The
You can
grammar.
talk a little bit about the two of you can talk a little bit
My
about.
notes are right here in my hand. Turned it this way.
I need to figure out a way to get that into the document.
Yeah.
I I think that next time I need to standardize how you guys get me texts because I end up with these weird things going on. Okay.
I ended up making like 4 documents, and one of them was specifically, this is what I got from Bib, this is what I got as English, this is the torch, this is the because it was written in a constructed script. You also had, this is the transliteration of the torch into the Roman alphabet,
Mm-hmm. Let me
which does not match up to the Romanization at all.
yeah. Right. Okay. Well, it's just gonna have to be like that. Okay. So
Yeah.
here is the torch. So you fracture the enemies now
Yeah.
using a magic spell. As they divide the storm, okay. They will shine. So the unknown sun has kind of like turned into just like the concept of light by now.
Pretty much.
Maybe we cannot make the world be perfect, but we will not stop to capture the enemies.
Okay.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
before we
that was a fun reversal because it was in mine. It was we will not stop holding them. So the capture was when you interpret it as like a grab. I think stop holding becomes stop to hold, and so it sort of reverses.
It mutated again in mine as well.
yeah.
That specific phrase, I mean, it turned into we will not stop chasing our enemies.
Yeah. So we have before we finish every piece of their plan, the enemies will not enter the city. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that, Miles. So their plan. I wonder where that came from.
I think I just had a mess up issue. Because I think there's like a little like a word meaning we, and I think I just kind of like evolved that all as like a possessive phrase than like saying that like they peace plan. So I just kind of mixed up who was the possessor and all that jazz.
I just realized something. Probably there is no possessor in Valia because if it can be left to implication, it is. So it might have just said the plan. And
yeah, I think it is just
maybe
like
that's what it was.
It is just the plan. But I think because like I had thought like if we finished our plan to like I guess like corral these enemies together versus kind of like it's the enemy's plan to like I had always envisioned this as like them invading the boop boop doop boop 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 like I guess the city or something in that. So like they were kind of already there and they're trying to kind of just like if we kind of like put our like lanterns in like the church if they're by coming by sea, then like that would be like the plan.
Yeah. Logan is awake.
Oh my God, Logan's awake.
Oh,
West Coast people.
He did it.
Everyone
Everybody.
celebrate.
Yeah. So we go from to Yatlao, and then we will break the enemies
Yeah.
using a vision. Why a vision?
That's about as close of like a magic spell that like they could conceive, I guess.
Okay.
So a lot of like the magic of like the Yatlao world ironically comes from like mushrooms. So they kind of like use mushrooms to kind of like induce states of trances and stuff like that. So it kind of like extended to that.
Well, that makes sense. A lot of like real world magical practices are basically like there are divination, basically, right? So
there's also those like the shamans who who had like saw using these like mushrooms like created the alphabet theoretically, or like at least like has some sort of like tangible relationship to like the writing system.
I would believe the Yatlao writing system was created through the use of magic mushrooms.
So we have this. It's possible we cannot make the world peaceful, yet we will not stop to hunt the enemies. Okay.
Yeah.
And before we complete all pieces of their plan, the enemies will not enter. So it's still we have the war framing. It seems like the concept, the enemies have become very abstract now. More abstract than originally, right? They're not shadow beings or anything. They're just enemies. They've become. It's kind of gotten to assume that these are just human enemies.
Yes. I had.
And and we also have lost the idea that you can't harm them with mundane weapons. Instead,
Never.
we say we will break them. So it's almost like the opposite. So let's jump into the translation of Yatlao into Angdor.
Angdor.
Angdor. Okay.
It's 3 syllables.
Okay. So can you talk a little bit about what happened here? So it seems like
Yeah, so the main thing that changed here is because I had cultural notes from Miles about what the vision stuff meant. So
Yeah.
I was just like, well, I'm just going to translate that as a spell and make that less complicated for me. So the main thing that was kind of difficult for me was just the VSO word order. It kept tripping me up, and I had to keep like reminding myself, no, this is the correct order these words are supposed to go in.
Yeah,
I
word
think
order,
so.
word
Oh,
order
sorry.
can be surprisingly tricky.
Yeah, even when
No.
you're expecting it, it's like, oh, that's incorrect. I don't know about all that.
It's just hard to keep in your head sometimes, even when you know what it is. Your brain just keeps switching things. At least that is my experience of it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think I did this, but it's very common in Yatlao to not include like the pronoun, especially at the end if it's like assumed from the context beforehand. I don't think there's any like instances of it, but there are instances where I definitely could have, like kind of like rereading it.
I'm just looking through here because this is supposed to be an English-based Creole, right?
That is correct.
And often with English-based Creoles, I want to like try to see like where things came from, and it's what? I'm looking at this. Okay, we is that
I see
we from
Logan.
English? I don't know.
No,
There's
that is from the word with, and the
Oh.
E next to it, like the letter E, is directly from the English indefinite article. So that's literally with a dark spell.
we
Yeah.
Kaloshali
Kaloshali
Sudra. Sudra sounds like it comes from sutra.
That is correct.
Okay. Interesting.
There are a
So
lot of little etymological things like that with Indus Creole, and there are also a bunch that are purposefully meant to make you think they come from an English word, but they don't actually.
oh.
Like that
This
word.
sounds like
Daswi.
Combrilang. That sounds like it would be like come brilliant or come shine, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
Brimang
Yeah.
comes from French and or Portuguese. The words are very similar.
Oh, okay.
Or like propungi for like opportunity or like chance comes also from French. The dasui in the first sentence looks like an English word, but it's actually from a similar sounding and similar meaning Mandarin word. And in this context, it means to destroy or to break or to crush. A whole bunch of things.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Why does it have a retroflex? D.
Because I rolled the dice every time for initial retroflex, and that was how I decided how they would start.
Um,
It's because with Creoles, they tend to when the like when you especially when you have multiple very distinct languages, phonologies mixing, you end up with a lot of what you might call transcription errors, essentially, where like
oh,
the
interesting.
speaker will hear it the wrong way and memorize it the wrong way, and fetch happens essentially.
I can see that happening. I can see that so like I can understand that as as occurring from just the way that perception works because the English D and the Mandarin D might sound like halfway between like the dental and the retroflex and it gets confused something like that.
Yeah.
um Although Mandarin I think does have dental. Well, it's not distinguished, so it's not really. But we destroy our enemies with a dark spell. We have a spell again.
Yes, we
When
have
the
returned
terrible
to the spell.
inflammatory spell breaches begins, our enemies will become illuminated. For then, okay, and
Yeah.
then there's no real chance we can make peace in all places. But we will never cease. So now we say we will never cease hunting our enemies.
Yes.
So
It just mutated
this
again.
is this is something I see a lot in relays. Negatives tend to go like flip flop in their meaning
Bit
because
tricky.
I think because people don't really 100% understand all the grammar that's around the negative, and it ends up like messing things up.
Yeah, and in this case, I think that might just be a genuine transcription error, a translation error on my part.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking over my notes right now where I did my transcription and like my initial glossing stuff. And the raw gloss that I had for that phrase was literally just future negative terminative hunt enemies in the plural.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then enemies will not enter our homes before all their plans are completed. I don't
Yeah, the homes
understand
was a deliberate change actually, and
what.
this was purely stylistic on my part. The
Uh-huh.
word for a village, or the phrase for a village in Angdar Creole is like a whole sentence long because this is not a thing these people have. But
Yeah.
they do have homes, so that's only one word.
Right, because they live in
Big mountain
arcologies,
towers. Yeah, arcologies. They're
which
they're like spaceships that don't fly.
yeah, and they are also I understand unimaginably huge, right?
Yes, they are. Each of the individual arcologies is like the size of a literal actual mountain.
Yeah. Um,
They're all
how many
also
people?
underpopulated at the moment. Each one
What?
only holds about 6,000 to a million people,
Oh,
even though they
really?
can hold like 10 times that.
That's interesting.
It's because they're going under a population crisis at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they call it. It's normal, actually.
Okay, so here we have.
The writing system was so much fun to make, though.
Yeah. So here
Also,
we
really
have the
glad Nemo
script.
liked it.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you have an English-based Creole that is written in a Devanagari derived script.
Yeah, so there's actually a bunch of like in-world social implications to that.
Yeah.
Normally, Queryo, all the dialects of Queryo are written in the Latin alphabet, but really they simply are not written down most of the time because it's
Hmm.
just not the done thing.
Yeah.
In a lot of especially formal contexts in the arcologies, you would be required to speak an amount of English.
Uh-huh.
And especially for like writing things, filling things out, if you're a student doing your homework, that kind of thing, you would be expected to know how to do it in English.
Yeah.
And So, like, obviously, Creole is very commonly spoken in the Arcs. It's the language of a slight majority of humanity within the Arcs, but it is very, like, pejorized. It is not something that the Creole speakers are, at least externally, proud of. It's something
Uh-huh.
that their pride for is completely internal. Um, and the script that I made, Nabolipi, actually has like a completely separate origin to Creole. It's as I said in the video, it's derived directly from Devanagari, although it has a lot of influence from Bangla and especially from Gujarat script,
Uh-huh.
um, and also Punjabi a little bit, but mostly Gujarat, which you can see pretty clearly in I think the shapes, especially that isolated U letter that is literally just stolen directly from Gujarat.
Oh, okay. There's,
I just really liked how it looked. It's the one that looks like a 3 with a really long tail that goes overhead.
that's wild. So that is interesting, and I will say it's not it's not uncommon for languages to change scripts for like all kinds of cultural reasons.
Yeah, and in the
Uh,
case of Angdor Creole,
yeah.
using this particular script for that language is associated with like criminals and certain kinds of
Oh.
violent nationalists, basically.
Oh, it's kind of
Um,
a it's kind of
Specifically because
it's
this is a
kind of a
fancy
secret
writing
script, huh?
system. Specifically because this is a fancy writing system that is for like formal things, decorations, and stuff. It's a lot like uh, Ranjana or Lanta script in like northern India and Tibet,
Uh-huh.
where it has like a very prestigious kind of social role. And so, these upstart Creole speakers using our fancy writing for their, dumb bad language is extremely haram. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. That's that is interesting. Um I was just going to say like just like so they're adopting a prestige script for writing what? Like a descendant of Hindi or something? And then
So in the original context, the Prestige script was designed specifically for writing in English and
oh.
also in Sanskrit.
Oh, okay. So
Although
like
it can definitely be used to write in various descendants of Hindi if you wanted to. They just tend to have their own scripts also.
that's that is interesting because I was thinking in terms of like a subordinate like adopting their previous script for cultural reasons like Yiddish. Yiddish is written in the Hebrew alphabet even though it's a Germanic
Yep.
language from like Old High German. But uh because of the cultural influence of like Jewish culture and preserving Hebrew as a liturgical language. But this is kind of an opposite effect of the of like they're trying to claim some kind of prestige
Exactly.
from the prestige writing system. That's interesting. Um, it's also interesting to think about writing systems developing in the future because I think to my mind I often kind of assume that our current writing systems are going to be stable because like we have like computer encoding systems and stuff built on top of that, but that's not necessarily the case.
Indeed. And yeah,
Yeah.
I really like exploring that kind of future language stuff. It's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, there are reasons I pick the topics that I do to work with.
Yeah. If we can move on to what okay. Is this the okay. This looks like the final. Um okay. Do I not have the Bokus here? Hold on a second.
There's you just have to get through all the grammar.
Yeah, hold on.
There,
It was right
there's
there. It
the
was what you just looked
translation.
at.
Oh, is this?
The
Wait,
I had
what?
the
the
same
text
thing
and the
as you, George. It just
translation,
continues
because I
on.
sent them to you in different documents. I should have put them together.
Whoops.
What other way? You This is still Juno's, right?
Okay, yeah. Keep going.
Okay, so this is Juno's.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
Here we go.
this
Oh,
this
okay,
is the
yeah.
Boku's torch for Bib. Oh, this is the
That's the
torch,
text.
and then you have the translation later.
No,
Okay.
the translation is the one right before, I think.
Oh, really?
oh,
Oh,
it wasn't labeled.
it's not labeled.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what it
sorry.
was.
Oh my god.
Oh, whoops.
Okay, I need to figure
I,
out how to put people's names on these things. So this is what you got,
yeah, when I
which
sent
is
it to you, I wasn't
actually.
expecting it to be like this. In the...
I know. I did not put any effort into organizing these things. I just kind of threw them into one document, and that's probably not the best way to do it. So we destroyed our enemy with the evil chant of darkness in the noisy battle. Okay, it seems like this is a pretty faithful translation of what was previous.
I mean, you say that, but I did have someone like someone was apparently triggered by how different my translation of the hypotheticals were.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
When you say
I mean,
someone, is this someone who was in comments or?
not
Okay.
yeah,
never mind.
yeah. Someone commented under the video.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm so glad for this.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, I don't know what Juno thinks, but I thought I did pretty well.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Um,
the only thing that I would say would be like an error would be if we follow the enemy. But like it's a pretty minor error.
no, that
Yeah.
was the thing that was picked up on. And I think like part of it was like trying to figure out in all of my weird documentation how exactly I got to that.
Mm-hmm.
That I have follow in my gloss. Is there a
Yeah, so the actual phrase is "Sep xiao ner jespo kiokopo xiao majinao," which literally means like, "But we will not then for kill go for."
Oh.
So like the terminative of go for, which means literally both to like follow, but also to chase or to hunt down. Creole words tend to have a bunch of meanings. They're
Yeah.
not too fond of synonyms.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like I said, pretty minor error in my opinion.
Um, one thing.
One thing I noticed
Oh, I
is so.
you go ahead.
Okay, sorry. This first sentence has stayed more or less the same, except that the tense has gone from future to present to past, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I am interested in how it became past since Andor, or not how, but like in that it became past tense since Andor is a tenseless language.
It's
Well, yeah,
it's
it's that if
possible.
you yeah, if all the tenses are possible and you're framing the thing around it, it made more sense to me to get the relevant context out of the way than I mean, obviously, if you said we will destroy our enemy with the evil chant of darkness,
Yeah.
I
But
think
purposely
obviously
didn't
once
include a
you
time phrase.
yeah like um it was I think it's a kind of just I guess I don't think it's overly Englishy to put narratives in the past tense, but it's
Yeah, no,
probably a
very common, I
bias
think.
there.
I mean,
Um,
it's one of the things. I mean, it can be either way. It's present or past tense works for narrative. I think it's different for different languages, but it's different in different styles in English. So I don't think that's a big thing. Oh, the thing I
oh,
wanted
there
to
is a
observe
perfect
is
marker though.
the thing I want to observe is, and then we will continue on and see if this holds. But it seems like we have a case of very gradual change, and a lot of the differences in the final text, which we'll get to, seem to be from one or two very heavily cultural translations at the end. Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah. But
Also,
yeah.
the phrase "Might there be peace everywhere" is a much more elegant English translation of that phrase than what I wrote. Mine was a
But
lot more
it's
literal.
the same meaning, right?
Oh yeah,
Mostly.
absolutely. The phrase that I wrote in English is uh, uh, "There is no real chance it can make peace in all places." So like a very literal one for word, one translation of how that is said in Angdor. Also, the word for peace, nyabat, sounds like it comes from the English "not bad" or "no bad," but it is actually directly from a Somali word that just means peace.
Oh, okay.
I would never have thought that was from English, just for the record. That phrasing would never have occurred to me.
Oh yeah, well you guys are conlang people, so that doesn't sound like an English word to you, but English people are like, oh, it sounds Englishy to me.
Okay.
Oh, really? Interesting.
It's very
It
strange.
has a
English
coda.
people, or Anglophones rather, will like, this one must be from here. And I'm like, no, it's not correct at all.
I
You know
I
how I gave
I
you
have
that impression.
to say that the process was very confusing to me. I at one point I was like, why is this Indus? It has so much obvious Portuguese influence that this must be from Goa or something. Like the 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 NH, like when I don't think I left it on screen long enough, but when I was transcribing the Navalipi, I kept shifting between like a more like romance style versus like IAST because I was just like, what's going on? like,
Oh yeah, and
um,
the language has like a kind of orthography, but it's not super standardized, and it takes traits from both Romance and from IAST.
mhm.
Oh, okay.
And to be clear, when I present it, I always use a standard orthography that I developed, but that's just for, consistency purposes.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is beautiful, by the way. This is we're talking about the bokus, right? This this is a font, right?
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
which
That's very
It sure
nice.
a
is.
fun story while Bib's not here. Bib messaged me like um I tried to like copy and Bib tried to copy and paste the text so it could go in a different document and then realized
Mhm.
that it
Mhm.
was I mean, it does look strange because of some differences in how it's used, because the font is entered based on how it's used in Nasi Pomo rather than Bokus in some places. So like every P is a pa, and but that's most of it. Like and W's are V's. And then Biv was like, "Oh, it felt like cheating, so I just deleted it and tried to carry on as if I had never seen it,"
Yeah,
which
yeah.
did make me
That's
think another time I'm not going to put spaces in if I use it
Well,
again because
yeah.
I I suggest I suggest when people do a script relay, you send your script as an image because
Mm-hmm.
so many of us use fonts that are just mapped to the Roman alphabet and like if I gave you Epigingid and you copy pasted it in another font, it would give it all away because
Mm-hmm.
it's like straight up one for one. You know that the capital letters mean that this is where the hard mark is, and then you just know, right? Um,
I sent mine as a
Was the
video.
solution handed to you?
we'll get to
Yes,
yours in
you
a minute.
did.
So
Miles, your laugh was so much louder than everything else on stream.
I'm not surprised.
I think I need to turn Miles down a little bit
if only I
because
could do
Miles
that.
seems to be peaking the meter all the time. Okay.
Oh my god.
Miles is
Um.
peak, it's true.
Let's
I love
see.
my loud mouth.
So this is a nice little document, and we have okay. We have spelling of bza words, and then we go on,
Yatlu and
and
Goku's scripts both look so good. I really like them.
yeah.
You can
And
tell that's
then
the aesthetic of script I liked because Navalipi has it too.
yeah, let's go. Uh, if we can go down and we can see. Yeah, I'm gonna next time I want to standardize. Maybe I'll make like a Google form for just the translations, so that like I can easily just paste things in the right place. And okay, so this I think this is Bib's document now.
Yeah.
Hutsigunap Honya. How did the transliteration go?
I mean, I don't think this is direct because there was one word where it was supposed to have a gv cluster in it. It actually Sogumov was supposed to be Sogumov based on the sound
Yeah.
changes, and I didn't like how it sounded. Um,
Oh.
so I spelled it gvu, but I gave the pronunciation as gu everywhere, um, and it's accurate to that. So like I think the only thing if I were like entering my like Spanish teacher era, it would be that not all the accents are in the right place. But other than that, it
Is that marked in the script though?
no. So there's not really a good reason for them to be like I as far as I'm aware, it's done consistently in the document. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
not in the script.
We go. Okay. By means of a demonic chant of darkness, we attacked our enemy's land with loud attacks, and the defense was broken open. Within the shining of the wounded, okay, we can see people of the surrounding enemy land. We will we imitate the enemy land? Will peace be everywhere? Before the end, these non-enemy land people will live in our home. Okay, so this is another thing. Like negatives just get lost sometimes,
Yeah.
and why are and then non-enemy land
I
people?
can
It's like
explain if we have
it
time.
moved. It moved to a noun somehow.
But basically, me and Miles hadn't properly written up the negation at the point we did the relay,
Oh,
and so one of the things that changed was originally it was going to be more like a French system where there was going to be like a, a kind of old object that sort of gets just attached on with some semantic bleaching. But it ended up being a bit strange because the like obviously I mean I don't know if French is sensitive to this, but it was kind of like historically, but it
yeah.
seemed strange because there were a bunch of intransitive verbs or verbs that already had marked objects that were then basically getting double object marking. And
Oh,
so instead, I standardized it so that the negation was on this little. We've been calling them articles, but they are more or less just very short, like little pronouny things. And when I sent it off to Bib, I didn't really describe them very well. Um, and Bib had to message me like, "Hey, I think I've got everything, but like, what on earth is going on with these negatives?" And I tried to explain them, and I was giving like Quechua examples because that was where like there's a relationship between because the Tundra languages come from like a they have like a obviate obviation system, which then
yeah.
in a bunch of languages is more like a topic comment marking structure. And so it seemed to make more sense. Like so the not enemies is Bib moving the negation on the pronoun demonstrative that is basically like a negative plus case marking into a negation of the noun, whereas it's supposed to be the enemies will not, and the focus is on it's the enemies who will not be living with us,
Yeah, yeah.
if that makes sense.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. The enemies will not be in our homes makes a lot more sense than the non-enemies will be in our homes. Because,
Yeah,
like, why would you say the other thing? And then so, but those are not will
Well,
live in
that's
our
my
home.
thought, but Bib's not here to answer for his crimes.
Yeah. Um. People talk. Somebody reversed the stuff, the way that it's reversed on screen. And okay, so somebody negatives being easy to use is why double negation is a thing. Possibly. The thing about like redundancy, there are a lot of redundancies in language do help with indexing things and helping with noise. But the thing is that every language chooses different things to make redundant. So it's kind of like there's a push-pull pressure of brevity and clarity going on that different languages solve differently. Um, oh, Jonathan said there was one negation that was deleted. And then okay, people telling certain people telling you where to sit. I don't know if that's
You should get closer to the camera to make them uncomfortable specifically.
you should just be your menacing wolf skull self.
I'm sorry, I'm a bad
That's
influence.
such the thing that you would write in a relay. Be on a single score.
I think that's something that would like emerge like halfway through a relay. Okay, so we have a
I
bunch
think about
of
sitting alone with
Oh,
my
what was really fun is when I
quite
received Bib's
often.
documentation. It was not a PDF. It was just like a proper Word document.
yeah. Yeah, I usually would suggest like PDF format for that. So just the same reason I say like use an image. Just this. Okay, so here we have Soten. Here's yours.
Yes.
We have fought the enemy lands of our enemies after many clamorous conflicts and defenses. Okay. This still seems very faithful. Translating from Takvamir. We'll see
Yeah, no,
how.
I noticed I basically mistranslated like one preposition,
Yeah,
Whoops.
that
and it's
happens.
I got the relationship wrong. It's not the enemies surrounding the land; it's the enemies of the surrounding lands.
Yeah.
Fucking
Well,
whoops.
that is a difference. And is this the whole torch?
Yes.
Okay, so these beads represent the entire thing. Uh, and
I do
so
enjoy that Soten can just hold his torch for us. There
yeah,
it is.
there it is. Can I let me hold on. Let me I will give me a
Let's
second.
show
I
my
need to figure
function.
out how to do this. Okay. Up. There. That is the torch. It is a physical object. Soten, we got live updates from Soten as they carved 100 beads
It
by
it's a
hand
little under, I think, but yes.
in order to get this text done.
I always mention like, yeah, I gotta carve the text. I gotta make it by hand, and George is like, okay. And then I said like, my hands hurt and are bleeding, and George is like, wait, are you carving them by hand?
I didn't mean. I mean, yes. I I didn't know that you were carving beads. What did you use to carve them?
An X-Acto knife.
An X-Acto knife.
Well, why would you do? Get a
Um,
carbon knife.
Don't worry.
That's very tiny.
The case endings hurt the worst.
I would have cheated a little bit and used a Dremel or something.
No, no, no.
The worst, he says.
Okay, so
Sorry.
this
I
is
don't
Juno
think
laughing.
I closed my mouth just out of sheer awe. And this is the first time speaking that I'm like actually closing my lips together out of like
Yeah.
pure shock.
Here's the thing I'm actually most shocked about is how accurate of a translation I got because I did rush through that.
Yeah,
Oh, I wonder why.
sometimes you can do really well just kind of vibing it.
And I
Depends
wasn't
on how-
sure about like if we like get our enemies practices with their BPs. I was like, I'm not sure about that, but I don't have time. I need to carve these by hand.
I was in a relay once. I forget whose language it was, but it was an English-based Creole with a Klingon substrate, and I was I I got like 90% of it just like looking at the English cognates and figuring out what they mean. But obviously you can't get that 100% of the time. It's interesting how like these fit together. Like you have some like one strand going into another one.
Yes,
Which
so that is a subordinate clause.
oh okay. So like this instead of punctuation you have manipulation of the strands.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the beginning of a sentence is right here. And in fact, in my channel, there's a video called "What Do You Call the Beginning of a Sentence?" and it's called "The Rope's Ass."
Okay. So let's see. I believe here we introduced. So instead of enemies, they're specifically like barbarians, and
Yeah.
there's a priest that darkens the sky under the barbarian conflict. Okay, let's okay let's go let's get that later, and then we have foreigner, and then that surrounds the land. So looks like we introduced a barbarian here, which we'll see what that turned into later.
Kinda. So, I needed a word for enemy, and I didn't have an easy translation into Sairiki because they existed in a Bronze Age society, like mid-Bronze Age. So, the idea of an enemy is more those who are not from our city-state,
Yeah.
who are like actively attacking us, and those who most often do that are those who are not from the area of the world which has writing,
Yeah.
which are barbarians,
Yeah.
and also are
So-
foreigners.
Okay. So that makes sense. The sort of the enemy and foreigner thing, I think, occurs in like some Sumerian text, right? Enemy and or Akkadian text, like the enemy and
so,
foreigner
like-
means the same thing.
The word for barbarian, enemies, and foreigners are all
Well,
just the same word.
we didn't have a word for enemy in Bafuz, and so that became. But we did have a word
Okay.
for
I see it in the text now.
territory,
Yeah.
and so I derived a word for enemy land that I used is like a general word, and then and when I had to specify it was a person, it became an enemy land person, which might have affected how Viv then translated that side of things.
And then like the not enemy land, like the not enemies from our land, that actually is just the word for like citizen.
Oh, okay.
It's
Interesting.
literally the people who are like of the written world. So the people who are of their land where writing is existing.
Oh, yeah.
And there's also like cultural associations, like those who are the written land, people who those who do writing exist in the western half of Hije Minor, And those who
Okay.
do not do writing are not of the western half.
Okay, so we had, I think West actually ended up in the next one.
Oh, nice.
So
Yes.
let's. It's really unfortunate. So I want to uh, say Simulanger never actually published a video. I don't know if he's ever going to. I hope he's okay, because he kind of dropped off the face of the earth, and I don't know
Yeah.
what
I
happened.
managed to get his number. He has not responded.
Oh.
Okay, so I don't know if he's okay,
I
which
hope
is
he
a
is.
problem. Uh, somebody wants the Conlang relay to include our age of bronze is collapsing. So, I have not watched Christopher Nolan's Odyssey, but that that
Me
line has
neither, and I'm
come
not
up.
going to.
People, I'm not really interested. Like, supposedly he worked in the Sea Peoples, but then he like also directly references the Bronze Age collapse, which is like nobody living
Yeah, and
in the
they
Bronze
keep
Age.
saying apparently these people from the sea.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
think
funny to me. I'm
Sea
sorry.
People, I think directly referencing Sea People could work, although I think that's what the Egyptians called them. The Mycenaeans might call them something different. But
The,
our age of bronze is collapsing. They don't know that. They might know their own empire is having problems or something like that, but not.
See, I don't know. It makes me imagine like an ancient Mycenaean going, "Oh, damn it! The Bronze Age is ending now."
Yeah, that's very strange.
I can't believe I exist in this transitional period of history. The world is changing so much before me.
Yeah.
To be fair,
But
plenty of people say that shit now at times.
so our own selves didn't. So here we're talking about leaving the barbarian alone, and it's a singular barbarian. I don't know if you mark plurals. Um, and there's then the priest became a shaman. There were some notes about this, and okay. Um, and then we have our Thrum left the barbarians because he had heated the sky. So there's a lot of cultural translation that happens here. Um, and what Soten, you said you had an explanation for the manatee. What is the
yeah,
bear?
there's logograms in here,
Uh huh. Okay. Let me.
and
Hello. Okay.
hello, there are logograms in here, and like 2 of them are used as logograms. The rest are used for rebus.
Uh huh.
So I don't remember what syllable bear was being used for, but
Oh.
they decided like, okay, this is going to be bear or manatee because that's one of the definitions.
Oh.
Um,
Okay.
it. The worst part about the logograms, though, is I had to include multiple pronunciations and definitions for it because I needed the Sariki word and the Ais word.
Oh. Okay.
They're
Okay.
they're
So
pronounced very differently.
yeah. Um. So that's interesting. Yeah. You mentioned also you have something similar to like what Sumerograms are, right? It's like some um words from another language that are being used as logograms in this language. Um. So that is interesting. So he just thought it meant bear and manatee and shoved those two together, I guess.
I suppose a manatee is sort of like a bear. You don't have eyeballs.
I could see a culture calling a manatee a sea bear.
That's fair. I could see this. I
Um,
would question their skills of observation, but I could see this.
sometimes call them sea cows.
See,
Soten
okay,
got
like
Soten.
they're at least herbivores. That matches
mean-
on that level, at least.
If
Yeah.
if seahorse can mean what it means, I feel like any animal plus sea can just be whatever you want it to be.
That is entirely
Seahorses
fair.
have little horsey faces.
Yeah,
though.
but I mean,
I
like in
was-
terms of scale.
Seahorse and went, ah, yes, a steed.
I was actually looking at words for seahorse on Wiktionary because I was thinking I'm thinking I might make like an offshoot of the fairy languages that is spoken by like water nymphs and mermaids and stuff, and they might prioritize words for sea life over words for land animals. And like so many languages just have seahorse.
Yeah. Okay.
I
I
don't
should
know.
look up what it is in Yiddish.
Yeah.
I would
Hello,
trust
can you hear
two
me?
people not being aware
Yes.
of what seahorses
I can hear
were
you.
until
I do
recently.
not see you.
My laptop died.
Oh, okay.
Rip.
We've got. Well, add the label back. Someday I will figure out why it reverses names. I wonder if I could just.
Here's the smart idea. Just write our names backwards.
But the letters themselves are reversed.
I think
I
people
don't
Well,
know
some of the
why
letters do
it's-
have other versions. I don't think there's a
Filters.
backwards J glyph though. Miles
I
could
do have
definitely
a
get away with it.
mirror.
Yeah, the J is still going the right way, which is very funny.
Um.
I agree with Sinowin in the chat. Hippos are terrifying. If they want to be called horses, I'm not arguing with them.
Is there a?
Yes, the webcams are also reversed, Cat.
No, this is not working. Yeah.
Thank you, Tinglish.
News source.
I feel like if I had been given the privilege of naming it, I would have called it an accordion fish.
An accordion fish.
Yeah,
That's
because it looks
interesting.
like
Yeah.
it looks like an accordion if you stepped on it.
Oh, okay. That's a thought. Let me check and see. I just want to see. Clip source.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, well, when I'm on this page, it is fine. Okay, let me see. Transform. Okay, now it's good. We're an hour and a half into the stream, and I figured out how to flip a source.
Good job, everybody. We did it.
Okay.
And by George.
Oh,
Let me make sure we can actually see what's going on.
Everything okay, Miles? What is this face?
Okay.
Is it accordion fish?
Yeah. Well, so we were talking about accordion fish, but that's not. Okay. I. So, what a lot of things. For some reason, there is still light in here, even though in other places he like culturally translated it light as, like cooling, and we had this metaphor of heat and cooling. So I don't know why that happened, because the key thing is that the Iridians cannot see. They navigate by echolocation. And their echolocation is like 360 degrees. But like, so this is like the like romanization, if you will, of this, with the letters and the numbers. Obviously, that's not what I got. I got the thing on Desmos that people saw. And so there are a lot of cultural translations because these are aliens from an alien planet. Um, and then we have like the thrum, sky darkening becomes getting hotter. And then peace came to be cooling the sky. Um, K, what is, so I chose to interpret K as animal head rather than fly. I don't know, that's something from you, Soten. Oh, bye, Miles. I didn't see Miles leave.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
One
So,
of the logos is fly, and I literally just carved a fly into a wooden block.
say what?
One of the logograms is a fly, and I
Oh,
just carved a fly into the block, like into the bead. It is one of the better looking flies I've had to do.
yeah.
He has done enough that there is comparison to be had.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out.
I can find the orthographic guide. Where did I put that?
That's weird. Okay. Um, I'm getting a lot of noise from somebody. Um, so you carved a fly and then he interpreted it as an animal head. That's interesting. And then we have cooling of the world is world peace. They don't have trees, so he just translated it as some sort of a apocalyptic sign. And then the bear manatee returns to its cave in the west. Okay, again,
The
like
bare
not
manatee.
a bear
Yes.
manatee,
So
but
I found the logograms with the Ais and Sariki definition. And it
yeah.
just so happens that the Sariki word for the head of a small animal and the Sariki word for fly are pronounced identically, but they have different genders.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
Uh, that's cool. But anyway, I got that, and
Oh,
I
always
got
good when the
this,
computer gives you an error
which
box when
people
you
have
click on
seen,
something.
this Desmos graph, that had, I think I got something slightly different than this. But you can see, yeah, this is another version. He gave me the corrected version later, but but basically, I had a bunch of lines. I had to do a bunch of math, uh, and it was wild. So, another reason I wish that Simulanger had gotten a video out. I hope that he eventually comes back to us and gets a video out because I want to know more about this and more about like how he imagines Iridians talking, and also more about like the process of translating from Soten's language to his. But my so I was spoiled on the word barbarian. Um, and I tried to avoid like being influenced by that. So I kind of literally translated that as he has a phrase in here, mouth hole secret experiencer. And I have not read the books, but my understanding is that in the book, um, I need to read this book, but my understanding is that in the book, um, uh, the Project Hail Mary, it's stated that Iridians prefer to eat alone, and it's considered a private activity, and so
I'm
that
given
does
to
make
understand
sense.
that this is because they
That
have
would
a
be
jellyfish mouth
a
going on.
hello.
Sorry. I said I'm given to understand this is because they have the jellyfish mouth thing going on.
Yeah, yeah. So they have and he deliberately translated his mouth hole to be off-putting, um, because they have one orifice. They do not have a separate anus, and so they eat food and then the waste comes out the same orifice.
Yeah.
Which
So that
is
means this is the cloaca moment of this relay.
yeah,
If there was a a highlight of last year, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact about Iridians is they only have one orifice, and it's not permanent.
Wait, really?
They have to
What?
make it every time they have to eat.
Oh, horrifying.
So okay, so they open up their carapace, and
They
how
have
does that work?
they have a section underneath them that is thinner, and when they eat, they like physically have to remove part of their carapace, pull out the waste, tear up the food, put it back in them, and then reseal them, and then they heat their body temperature so high that they can't move.
Oh my.
Fascinating.
Which is why they're a social species, because otherwise they're going to get predated when they're eating.
That's
You
crazy.
can tell that Andy Weir is not a spec bio guy.
Yeah, so yeah, no, they eat,
Andy Weir,
try it, and then they're like, "Hey, I'm about to pass out," and then pass out.
Oh
Me
my.
when I go into the food coma immediately.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But the worst part is they're like aware of this the entire time because they have like perfect memories and perfect recall because their brains are like crystal computers.
Ah, yeah, I remember hearing about this. They have eidetic memories.
Yeah.
I also have not read the book.
Okay. Yeah. Jan Sila is also giving us info on this. Okay, so that's incredibly wild. So
Wait till you hear
that
about how
is
they.
that I have taken to believe to hear that that was not really depicted in the movie, and I'm
Thank
sure there's a
God.
reason for that.
It is depicted,
Oh
It
no.
is.
but he doesn't talk about it like a gross thing. He's just like, "Oh yeah, no, I eat beautifully."
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about this. They swapped the joke around in the movie.
Okay.
I've heard some people choosing to interpret this as Rocky just being a weirdo,
Yeah.
/ having gone a little crazy after being on a spaceship alone for a long time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like I said, I haven't read the book, but that is a very funny interpretation to me.
So
They didn't discover radiation nor time dilation before they learned the hard way.
yeah. So I want you guys' opinions on this. Me looking at this, it really feels like a whole lot of the mutations are like right at the last step,
Yeah, I
because
was
we
gonna
have
say.
so much cultural interpretation that has to happen for like the Iridians to make any sense of the story for Iridians, that we end up with a very different thing. Because we have the thrum, which is not really a thrum is not really totally untranslatable to a human like social concept. I guess you could call it like a meeting or a jam session or something like that. Um
Jam session.
yeah. But like that we got light turning in like darkness turning into heat and stuff about the carapace, and I ended up like literally translating stuff about carapace that is supposed to be metaphorical. And we get so it's like these last two steps get a lot of mutations. We have arid appearing, So, like,
It honestly kind of feels like we did really good the whole relay, and then we tripped at the finish line.
it's
This
a
is the stuff
combination
people want to
of
see, though.
yeah, like there were quite a few mutations leading up to this, but the last step between like the bear managing T emerging from a mistake and then all of these like mutations that are just from culturally translating to an Iridian mindset, it just ends up with like something like that expanded quite a bit and went like in a totally different direction.
Now I have a question to that.
It reminds me.
Script.
Sorry.
What was that?
Who do you think had the worst script?
Hmm.
Let's not do that.
Depends on your opinion about what
I think
constitutes.
I have the worst script because how hard it was apparently to translate out of.
That's fair. If we're going by least functional, probably yours are Iridian.
Iridian,
I-
so at its base, the Iridian system you could just classify as an alphabet. And I will say,
Could also
if
classify it as nonsense.
so, no, but like so they communicate by singing, right? The it's musical notes that they produce, and the those like grooves directly represent those musical notes, right? Um, I will say if this had not been the last person and there had been time pressure, I probably would have told Simulanger, please do this a different way. He has an alternate script that is much easier to handle, and he also has other ways he could have presented it that wouldn't require people to do math. But since it was the last one and I was the one doing it, I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I can afford to take 5 days to figure this out and do all the math and get it working. But
New
like,
rule, if your conning involves math, it's the hard ring for you.
but like once you do the math, it just kind of turns into an alphabet, and I can deal with that. Um, uh, the math. So it's another like cultural translation thing with these alien beings because Iridians Iridians have better memories than humans, and they do math better than humans. But really, they can do math more easily than humans. They have instincts for it, and that's probably why they can make a writing system like this. And then reading it is easy for them because all they do is send an echolocation pulse into the groove, and it returns the note that they want. I don't know if the physics of that works out. I would assume that the groove is like selecting a harmonic that is the note that they want back. But uh, it works for me.
It's like if writing was invented by way of the vinyl record.
Yeah. Okay, Jan Sila is saying there's canonically a writing system that's closer to human writing. That's interesting. Okay. Is that just a recording on a rock? So that's something we discussed
It is.
because it's like it's kind of halfway between. In human terms, it's kind of halfway between a writing system and a sound spectrogram. Because remember, they only are differentiating pitch, so like if you just give the pitches back, then that's equivalent to giving you a sound spectrogram of human speech because it's like the same kind of data. At the same time, it's a range of 1,000 to 2,000 hertz, and the the actual speech would actually go into the next octave because of the way that the way that the harmonics work in the language. So there is a layer of representation. Also, like the frequencies are standardized in the writing system in a way that living beings would not have. You would probably have Iridians that have slightly higher or slightly lower voices, and they would have some way of modulating with each other, right?
Yeah,
Um,
idiosyncratic speech as well.
yeah. So the it is, yeah, it's kind of in between some kind of like waveform or spectrogram representation and like a writing system or transcription system.
It sort of reminds me of I believe it's Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn novels.
Mm-hmm.
But in those, only women do writing. But the writing that they use is like the pictures of it I've seen is that it's meant to look like a spectrograph of speech, and it
Oh,
is the dumbest and ugliest thing I have yet seen.
So the way this writing system feels like it should work is imagine everyone talks by whistling, and then you decide to make a note by taking a hollow piece of wood and slowly putting holes in until it's making the right tunes.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
You
kind
don't
of.
need to like do the math for that. You can just hear it like come to form.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I could imagine
Oh,
a
actually,
an Iridian slowly bit by bit,
throw
like
away my entire
chiseling these grooves in and send echolocation pulses until the harmonic is the right one. So yeah, it could be like done like a transcription system, but I think it would eventually get standardized so that you could like mass produce writing.
Did this line up with your translation, George, by the way? Just
Yeah, no
before
offense
we
to Brando
forget what's
Sando. I
actually
just
going on.
Oh,
that was a real speaker.
so I think there were things that I was let's actually try to get to, if we can jump to the page. If we go to I didn't engage with the barbarian. Okay, let's go to his. Our Thrum left the barbarian sleeping because he had heated the sky with an animal head. Yet the wall beat back the barbarians loudly until their land splintered apart. So I did have a lot of errors. I kind of was tired after actually figuring out the writing system and was kind of half-assing the translation itself. And I got some elements there. Um, I didn't get the shaman. One thing is like carapace is supposed to be like metaphorical for sky. Opening the carapace is like opening up the sky to something. And I got that mixed up. And I thought, okay, when you get hot, you open up your carapace, which I don't know if that actually makes sense. I don't know if Iridians would actually do that. Um, and
Uh,
then to close it again when it gets cool again. And also like the one who closes the shell is evil was weird. I think there was something about the evil sorcerer. The I never quite got. There's some explanation in the torch about this language is like alien in that it privileges states over actions, whereas human languages tend to privilege like actions in the way things are marked. And I did not actually see that. And there were some word order things that were mentioned um about like complex noun phrases can't be like the subject and stuff like that I don't know if I actually saw this happening. So I was kind of confused about certain things. There are some mutations that came from me misinterpreting metaphors and me not quite getting the grammar, I think.
These things are bound to happen with the musical alien language.
Okay. Logan
And
is
also
correcting
the torch.
somebody that the women's script is from Stormlight and not Mistborn. And it looks like a waveform.
Yes, confirmed a fake Brandon Sanderson fan, everybody.
It looks bad. That is what I will say about it. It
It's
looks
real
bad.
ugly. I'm sorry, Brandon. It does not look good.
How do you...
Also, just the idea that you could get any information out of that like
Hurts my eyes to look at.
It's nonsense.
How would that evolve?
That's also my question, is like, who invented this? Where is it from?
Because
I don't know who invented it. It must have been a linguistic college student.
yeah, I mean, no.
Also, here's
The thing
interesting
is,
the lore here. According to-
waveform representations come thousands and thousands of years after writing in our world. So you have to have a very weird world history to come up with this. We don't need to talk about Brandon Sanderson all the
Yeah,
time.
that's
I haven't
good.
read his books. I may want to go back and read those, but like that is a weird world history. But I mean, it's, I don't know. I think that you would have something that works better before you ever had the idea that waveforms exist. There's very little I can tell from waveform, because I do use waveforms when I'm like segmenting things for subtitles and stuff. But you don't get nearly as much info as you get from a spectrogram, and neither of those will get you like the exact like sounds that are made. But anyway,
I'd say in my experience, I can only really tell if someone is speaking or not compared
Yeah.
to other kinds of sound.
I've spent a lot of time with phonetics, so I can sometimes I know where stops are. That's quite obvious. I can sometimes tell the difference between vowels and nasals on a waveform, and
For
fricatives.
a while, I
Although
was doing
some fricatives are noisier than others, so it's hard to tell. Like theta, just almost disappears, whereas like S is pretty loud. But
for a
yeah,
while. I was
yeah, I can get a lot more from a spectrogram though, just because
for a while
the
I was doing
frequency
Gramble,
information
which
on a
is like
waveform is
the
very
okay.
minimal.
I'll stop.
Yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think the Iridian system works for Iridians because they can just like pulse it.
Yeah.
But it was difficult for me to figure it out.
Understandable.
Yeah.
More than
Literal
understandable, really.
magic.
I'm
Well,
honestly surprised you made
magic.
shit.
I don't think magic gives you a waveform representation. Okay. Anyway, we got way off topic.
We
but
did. It's my fault.
No, it isn't.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's my horrific script that literally cost me blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did not. So
Right.
it's just like, I think when you said it before, it didn't register, and then you mentioned that you were bleeding, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm writing, George. What would you expect?
And it's so, and you did this within 3 days.
I used my vacation days.
Yeah, this is Soten is a wild person. Soten.
I
is
have been
high
told
effort
I
for
am
everything.
apparently a very intense person to deal with.
Oh well, I look at your languages, and they're all very intense in the way that you think about things. I don't know. You did. I'm sure there was a way to like draw out the symbols that didn't require this, but it is interesting that you have this artifact that you just have
I
now.
did draw them out for the orthographic guide, just not the script.
Yeah. Oh, they're 3-dimensional, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and for a lot, like the color doesn't matter for the beads. Thank Junos. Uh, and so I just added a bunch of different colors, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna assign meanings to them. The only beads where like colors kind of do matter are the grammatical beads or the morphological beads, and it's just they're kind of coordinated by like type of morpheme. So that is case ending versus verb endings,
yeah.
which is also just like the verb endings are the very top of the string, and then the case endings are like right after a noun phrase. Or prepositional phrase, because prepositions actually take case marking instead of nouns when there's a preposition.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very intuitive, I think.
Okay. Well, we're at time. I think we have kind of solved the mystery. I think there were gradual mutations along the way, but I think a big thing was the cultural translations into Iridian, and my flailing to make sense of that caused the bulk of the mutations, which led to like people saying, "Oh, I feel like I got most of it for most of the way," and then I come to it. I'm like, this is completely different from what I wrote.
Yeah, like I commented in the video, I was like, this is a weirdly coherent torch text I've received.
Yeah.
This almost makes sense.
Well, the story I got kind of makes sense. I
Well,
messed some stuff up that made it not make sense. Because like I have the one the barbarian I had the one who watches us eat beats us against the wall instead of the wall beat him. That actually kind of makes more sense to me. But yeah, this it just changed a lot right at the end. Yeah. Okay, Jansila. So we, I'm not going to spoil it, but the hard ring held together surprisingly well, and you will see about that on Monday. But with all of that said, I think we really need to go. I need to take my daughter's places, and well, thank you all for being on. Thank people for watching, and happy conlaying.
Happy conlanging, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy calling.